Is my screen is visible to everyone?
It's loading.
Yeah.
Yeah, can see now.
See that.
Yeah. So today is the first topic, that is Python object oriented programming language. Simply we call that as OOPS. OOPS concepts. So basically we have six types of OOPS concepts. One is class, object, encapsulation, inheritance, algorithm, abstraction. Okay. So base topics are class and object is a base topic, and in Python we have four pillars of OOP concepts, that is encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. These are the four pillars of a Python OOPS concepts. Okay, now clear? Python OOPS. So we use it to support the OOPS concept will helps to Python to write a code optimization purpose and work efficiency. It will improve the work efficiency also for the programming. So let me discuss about what is exactly the Python. So sorry, Python class. So class is here the Python is a object oriented programming language. We already know that. So here almost every Python has an object and it has an properties and methods. We have some functionality to the each and every method and function. So here the class is a object constructor, or simply we can also call it as a blueprint. For example, let me show you one example. So this is a car structure. So, if you watch the cars, different brands, the structure is completely set. So in front they have a fuel tank, engine and fuel tank. In middle we have a seat. In back end we have a dicky. Each and every car feature is same. So that is a blueprint. The structure of a car is a blueprint. Clear? The structure of a car is a blueprint. How the model look like. Completely it's a blueprint. Okay. By using our blueprints, we can design the objects like Honda, BMW, Audi. These are the objects comes from the blueprint. Clear? Here the car is a blueprint. This is a model of blueprint where every car have a front in front of engine, middle we have a seats, end we have a dick. This is a common structure of a car. So any brand of a car, you can go for the Tata, you can go for the Honda, or you can go for the Thar. Any brand of a car, same structure will be there, but some of the major differences. That's it. But the structure is same. They in front we have a front of we have a engine, middle we have a seats, and end we have a. This is the same for the every car. But we are accessing the blueprint by using the objects. Okay. Here the car is a class. Here the car is a class. In that class, we are accessing the objects, n number of objects. Okay. So to create a class, simple syntax, class is a keyword, class name, ended with colon, and body of a class. Whatever things we need to mention in a body of a class, we can mention. Okay. So here the example is class, my class, ended with colon, x equals to 5. I created a class. But to access the class, we need to create a objects. To access the class, we need to create a objects. So objects is known as an instance of a class. Object is known as a instance of a class. It is also known as a physical entity of a class. Physical entity of a class. So basically, class is a blueprint. We just design a blueprint, but as a physically, we need to access the class. So that's why we use these objects. That's why we use the objects. Object is a physical entity of a class. It's a instance of a class. Once the class is created, we can create n number of objects. We can create n number of objects. For example, let me give one more example. I have a 10 cent of land in Hyderabad. I went for the home designer. They designed one blueprint for my house. Same 10 cent I have in Bengaluru. Same 10 cents I have in Mumbai. Same structure I will take and I will build the things. Same blueprint I used to build in Hyderabad. I used to build in Bangalore. I used to build in Mumbai. The blueprint is same. Land is also same. So I am calling multiple objects. Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai. Multiple times I am creating a object. So once the class is created, we can call multiple times an object. Once the class is created, we can call multiple times of objects. N number of objects we can create. Okay. So to create object, like how to create object. Object, like it's a variable name. Object dot object one equals to call the class. With the class.
Sorry, Vamshi, are we creating the class first or object first?
First class. We are creating the class first. Yes.
We already created the class. Okay,
Yeah.
my class X is
First
below
the
5.
class.
Okay.
After the class, like it's a blueprint. Blueprint is created. So we need to access the blueprint by using the object. So for that, we need to call the class name. By using the class name, we can call the blueprints. Object one equals to my class. It's a class name. I am calling the class name. Print object or one. Whatever the things stored in a class, that will now it is stored in a object one, and we are printing the object one that will be getting output. So in class we have x equals to 5. In class we have x equals to 5. Here I create an object class. Here I create an object my class and print object. So let me show you one more example. So I told you that the objects will be created n number of times. Obj2 equals to, say I need to call the class. I need to call the class. Class is called print obj2 dot x. X is a stored in a p. So we will get the file as a output. See, we get the file as a output. Let me do some time. It will be getting here. One second. I forgot to run this. Okay, class is created. Now object will also created. Got it? N number of times we can create an object by using class name. So n number of times we can create object. So by accessing the blueprint of a class.
So, Vamshi, one question there.
Yeah.
So, like, we are using the same value for x2 for different objects into it because we have declared x as a class, right, which is x equal to 5. Now, can we have more than one here, like, let's say y equal to 2?
Like this.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So for that we can access the things. We get a 4. Have a look. Get a 4.
Okay, so if we define here, we can call it by and then give it our.
So whatever things you need to have in a class of x class, we can define in the blueprint. So we are accessing the blueprint what are present in that. So here the x and y is present. We can simply access it by creating the objects.
So Vamshi, there is an object 3 that let's say object 2. I want a summation of both x and y. Can we do that? No.
So your like summation of both and things.
Yeah, X and Y. Yeah.
X and Y it's not possible. So we
Okay.
are just
Okay.
it's used to access the things. So if you want the things means you can directly add here only. C equals to
Okay.
X plus Y. Okay. You can create like this and now you can call the you will get the output 9. Got it?
Understood. Got it. Got it. Yeah,
Got it?
makes sense.
Yeah. So it is just object is used to call the class. Whatever the things present in a class like a methods, just we accessing purpose we use this objects. So if you want to perform any operation, you need to create in a class
Hmm. Hmm.
only. Okay. So questions are okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Clear? Yeah. Next one, self parameter and init initializer. Self parameter and init initializer. Okay. First one, what is exactly the self parameter? Self parameter is like it's a reference. It works like a reference. I am the person who are present in a class. It's a reference. It works like a reference. When you are creating the class, in that class, in the body of a class, we create a number of functions. Okay. Here the class name is AC. Here the class name is AC, and I am creating the multiple functions of AC. Okay, switch on, switch off, swing, different types of functions I am creating in a class. In a class. So each and every function, each and everything, a self parameter need to be mentioned. So if self parameter is mentioned, that means it works as a reference. I am a reference person. I am also present in this class. It works as a reference.
Sorry, I didn't understood that, Vamshi. What is that? Self parameter is a reference to the.
It refers to the current instance of a class. Like example, we have a AC room. AC is a class. We created
Mm-hmm.
AC is a class. Okay. This self parameter in the AC class, we created different types of functions for the AC
Okay.
functionalities. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
each and every function, we need to mention a self parameter. It indicates that I am also present in this class.
Okay.
I am also present in this class. Try to use me.
Hmm.
Okay. I am also present in a class. Try to use me. Which works like as a reference. I am also present, try to use me. Here,
Okay.
here the example class self. Just I created a name of a class self. Diff function declaration. Init initializer. Init it. Here the self print hello world. So when I access a class, it will get an as a hello world. Okay, just we are mentioning the self for creating a functions. It's a default. We need to mention definitely if we create a function in a class, definitely need to mention the self. It's a rule. If you forgot to mention the self means it will show an error. Okay.
So, Vamshi, is the keyword self, or like since we define
It's
class
not a
as self?
keyword. Just we need to mention the self. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So is
Just
the
we need to mention.
definition that, yeah, so it's how we are defining. So if we are writing class X, for example, it should be X inside in it, right? That's how we should be writing it.
Yeah.
Or okay.
Okay. Clear. So next one, the one more function is init initializer. This is a method which is pronounced in like init initializer is a constructor. It's a constructor. So initially, if you want to initialize any parameters, initially if you want to initialize any parameter, at the time we use this init initializer. Okay. So for example, class is a dog. If init initializer, init self parameter is a common thing. Name self name underscore sorry name comma age comma location ended with colon, and now I am referring self dot name equals to name, self dot age equals to age, self dot location equals to location to access the things present in a initializer. So we need to refer name, we need to refer age, we need to refer the location. That's why we use self dot name, self dot age, self dot location. Okay. So after the creation of class, I am creating an object. and call the things. My dog equals to dog. Dog is a class name. In that initializes name, age, name and age. Forward. Okay. Name, age. The name and age of a dog. We are initialized. The output will be given in a memory storage. So to get the output, we need to write one more statement in the program. I will show you. Okay. In it
Vamshi,
initializes
can you
what we
go up a
want.
little bit on the first example? I was not clearly following that. Sorry.
Sorry.
I was not clearly following that. Can you go to the above
This one.
one, the first one, which is the init?
This
Because
one.
I'm not getting that init function. So if
So
I
init
def
function
and then
is
is
used to init initializers. Like initially initializing. If you want have any parameters attributes, if you want to pass, initially
uh-huh.
whatever the things you need to require, we need to pass them.
Okay.
Like that it works. If in a class for the definition of a function, define of a function, I need have a dog name and age.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a reference of self dot name equals to age, self dot age equals to
Mm-hmm.
age, name and age. These are the two things, the parameters I need to pass as a inputs.
Okay. Self name and age of the inputs. Class is dog.
Yeah, in a class of dog, I have defined the name and age of a dog. So it need to be take when you are initializing the inputs.
Mm-hmm.
So when I call the object class dog name equals to Buddy, age equals to 3. So if I print the dog, it will store the data in a memory. It will store the data in a memory. So clear sir up to now?
Yeah. Just second. Let me note down this ones.
Yeah, sure. You can. If you go for the problem, at the time you will get how the outputs also.
Mm-hmm.
So here we use the print or return. That is memory. Memory. That what are the things we have mentioned age equals to Buddy and age, the things that is stored in this memory. Object is created for that. There is a continuous code. If you write that continuous code, we get the outputs. Yeah. Let me show you. Completed? Just created in a compiler. Memory creation. It's not just to storage purpose. Just to show the storage. It assigned this bit for it assigned the bits. This bit for the memory storage. So now you will get the thing. Okay. This is a program.
No. Sorry. I'm still getting an error.
Yeah, the init is not working the way we
Yeah.
intended.
Sir, give the double underscore. Don't forget to def
I
double
give,
underscore.
Yeah. Double underscore, but expected inverted comma colon.
yeah,
Can you
same
share
here.
your screen?
So after init statement, do we need a colon?
Yeah, sir. End of the init statement, you need to mention a column. Can you
Yeah.
please
I
share
got
your
it now.
screen?
Yeah. I got it now.
Yeah. So let me give you an example that you will get a clear understand. So say class equals to dot def. I'm creating a function init initializer. You need to give a double underscore in front of init and after the init. In that self parameter, I pass it's the default one and age and name and age. Self dot age equals to age. Self dot name equals to name. Two things I have recently passed things. Now I am creating multiple functions in the same class. Multiple functions in a same class. Here bar def bar in the parameters self is common print oof like how the dog sounds oof. Okay. Create a object. I am creating object dog one equals to dog inner initializers what are the things we mentioned name and age Buddy comma 3 and second object dog 2 equals to dog max comma 5. max gamma 5. Now I am used to print that statement by using f string. I used to print the statement by using f string. Print f string dog1 dot name. What are the objects created? Dog1 dot name is dog1 dot age year old. After that, print f string dog2 dot name object2 dot name object2 dot age, and it is dog1 dog2 bar. You get an output. Understand? But previous example I didn't mention, just I print. I didn't access the name things. Clear? Understand? If you want to write this program, write it. Just I create a class. In this class, I created a function, two functions. One init initializer using init initializer. So if you use the init initializers, so initially you need these parameters to pass with a class when you are creating an object. Okay. In the name and age I have said. So self parameter, by using self parameter, it's a reference for that. Initially I have taken a reference of name. I need to take a reference of age. After that, in that same class only, I created a one more function bar. For that also I pass the self. Self is you need to pass by default. You need to pass. It's a blindly remember need to pass. Why we use the self means it's a reference function. Function reference purpose. I am also present in a class. In a dog class, I am also present for the reference purpose. For the reference purpose, we use this self. After that, create an object for the class, and whatever the initializers initially you have mentioned, name and age, pass that things into the class parameters and access the using object dot name, object dot age. If you want to add one more also, you can add. If you want to add one more also, you can add. You can create n number of functions in a class. N number of functions in a class. Yes. Yeah. So if you access on the print dog1, print dog2 means it shows the memory locations like this. Recently I shown you here. Print my dog. It is like it shows the memory location. If you want the exactly information means you need to pass the object dot whatever the function you are need, like whatever the method, name or age or location, whatever the things you have mentioned, you need to call like that. Clear, everyone, up to now?
No, one second, Vamshi. Let me
Yeah,
copy
you
that.
can write, sir. You can write, no problem. So don't forget like giving colons at the end of the statements. If you forget that, it will definitely shows the syntax error.
Okay.
So here the indentation is also important. By default, it will take the indentations. Okay.
Just curly brackets. Yeah.
So if you want more examples, simply go for the ChatGPT and it will give the number of examples. Here the logic is important. How exactly we are taking that. Completed.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. So clear? In that we have a string method. String method is used to build the outputs according to the human understanding. According to the human understanding. So same like that init double underscore init until like that double underscore str method, string method. So here the representation of string method def, and I am creating a function double underscore str dot. You need to pass the self return. I need to return the outputs here only. In below that I don't want to pass any things. I don't want to call once again like self dot name self dot I don't want to call that much. So justly initial here only def str equals to self f string self dot name. I am calling the self dot name and self dot age. Whatever the inputs you have mentioned to the age and name, by default it will be getting outputs. Okay. So what are the things? Here the my dog is name is Buddy and age. If I pass one more thing like my underscore dog one equals to dog is a class name and name equals to max name equals to max and age equals to 6 age equals to 6. So if I call this max 6 years old, so whatever things I mentioned f string self dot name comma self dot age year old, same thing with I get an output. Understand? Clear?
Just a second.
So if you want to call one like no, how many times if you want to print you can do things. You need to call the objects. You need to print the objects. Okay. Here the things are stored in here only. I create a function in that same class only. Whatever things you are given as an input, that things comes to the output directly. That will be stored in objects. Directly we will get an outputs. We don't require to write like this. Print. You need to access the class one dot name, like object one dot name, object two dot name. We don't want to print like that. If you create a one string class string method in a class only, it directly accesses the things into the objects. Okay, this is a small method. After that, we are moving towards the one more topic like inheritance. Simply inheritance is
Sorry,
how. Yeah.
Vamshi, can you go back to the same example? I'm just noting down
Yeah.
the string method. Yeah.
STR method. Human readability string representation for understanding of humans. So in a class, how many number of functions you are creating? Definitely you need to pass the self. That's the default. You need to definitely pass.
Hmm. Oh, some error. This is still getting some error. Just a second. I'm still getting some error.
So where you getting errors?
Just a second. Print my dog one. Right. So we print my dog one.
So have a look on this code, sir. Is there anything you have mentioned? Then fine. Let me stop here. So try yourself with a different example in class and object. If you okay with the class and object fields, then I will move forward to another step.
Let me share my screen.
Yeah, one second.
See? Somewhere I'm going wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Somewhere I'm not getting that right syntax.
Dog. Sir, why you mentioned that open bracket in front of my dog?
Where here
Yeah.
you don't need a open bracket here.
Yeah, we don't require. So that's
Oh.
why only see have a look on my code. So
Oh,
print
okay.
statement
Okay.
also you have mentioned like that. Print statement. Come remove that white spaces in front of print. Everything. Remove that things.
Sorry.
Press enter. Yeah. If run the code. It will be get out.
Okay. 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 Because that will automatically came that indentation, I think.
Yeah, automatically it will show the things. So we don't require to push the back or front.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
This works.
So I will stop the class from here. So try to practice with the different example and class and objects. If you get there everything means I will move forward to the next step.
Sure.
Clear?
Sure.
Online and offline both are clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Vamshi. Thank you.
Yeah, done. This video will be uploaded within a 1 or 1.5 hour. Okay,
Mhm.
your mail IDs. Check it.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.